free country means we have the right to certain freedoms. At the forefront of these freedoms is the freedom of religion and freedom of speech. In Canada, as it's written in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, it also includes the freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression. In the United States, the freedom of speech is just one aspect of the First Amendment to the Constitution. However, in both countries, there are exceptions as to what can be expressed. These exceptions came about as federal court cases determined that certain expressions had no real value and seemed to cause more harm to society. In Canada, quote, limits on speech were incorporated in the criminal code in relation to treason, sedition, blasphemous and defamatory libel, disruption of religious worship, hate propaganda, spreading false news, public mischief, obscenity, indecency, and other forms, close quote. So as you can see, a common misconception that we can say whatever we want just because we have the right to do so without consequence simply isn't true. We need to be responsible for what we say, especially in the public forum. However, in the academic and artistic worlds, there is more latitude for what can be said in the name of academia or artistic expression. And depending on the age, maturity, educational level, that will determine how far one can push the limits to what is deemed acceptable and actually protected under the rights of academic freedom and artistic liberty. It's important to keep in mind that educators, especially in the elementary and secondary level, are bound by standards in their schools and districts, such as being a role model who acts in the best interest of all students, and being responsible for students' emotional and physical safety. Often, those standards of professional conduct, as well as potential concerns from parents and administrators, will influence a teacher's decision on whether or not to say or teach something. Teachers should think very carefully and cover all their bases before venturing down the road on a topic that some may deem controversial. Controversy is anything that is disagreed about or debatable. Because everyone has the right to freedom of belief and opinion, there will naturally be a wide array of beliefs and opinions out there on any subject matter. But the two situations where controversy arises is, first, when an opinion or belief is expressed that goes against what is popular or against the norm and sometimes even counterculture in order to draw attention or to invoke an emotional response or reaction of any kind. Second is when you get two intelligent individuals or groups whose perspectives and disagreements are at totally opposite ends of the spectrum. Even seemingly good things like freedom of speech, for example, from a particular viewpoint, can be deemed controversial. What is being argued is not whether freedom of speech should exist, but rather what should be permitted and what should be censored. Several studies have suggested that one of the most important skills for people to develop in life is critical thinking. To be able to think for yourself, to be able to look at an argument from all viewpoints and come to your own conclusion, to be able to analyze a claim and be able to determine whether it's just someone's opinion or if there's a misrepresentation of the truth. Other studies have found that students who regularly discuss controversial issues in school are more likely to vote later in life, follow political news in the media, be interested and take part in the political process, have confidence in their ability to influence public policy, to develop nonviolent strategies for dealing with conflict, have a greater appreciation for cultural diversity, and be higher achievers and have a greater sense of self-esteem.